To explain how the sons of Belial sank Atlantis, we must understand that the sons of Belial were the particular branch of the sons of darkness for Atlantis. They had operations in Lemuria, Mu, also Sumeria. And yes, I'm referring to Sumeria, but the proper pronunciation is Sumeria. So the sons of darkness had branches spread all across those civilizations. But what they all had in common was the sons of darkness. And to understand the sons of Belial, and thus the sons of darkness, we must understand creation, the beginnings of creation, the Big Bang. That's not really accurate though, but consciousness aware of itself has always existed. There is no beginning, no end. There is just consciousness. All is mind, everything. And consciousness has always been. Consciousness realized that at some point, and if the word lonely could be applied accurately, then consciousness became lonely. Consciousness created. Consciousness divided. One became two, and you know the rest of the story. But essentially, there is a war that started with what we refer to as the Big Bang, but consciousness. When consciousness first divided itself, one became two. We can understand this as the positive and the negative, but consciousness itself is beyond all that. This is creation. This is the mechanics of creation. And this war, which it became a war, and it started with what we understand as the Big Bang, although that's not accurate in cosmology. The Big Bang is not accurate. But this is thousands of millions. I'm talking about the very beginnings of when consciousness created, divided, separated. And this separation led to two forces, which we understand as darkness and light. Diametrically opposed, vehemently opposed. Two different ways of doing things, but that is nature. That is how consciousness created. The yin-yang, the positive, the negative. But to understand how the sons of Belial did what they did in Atlantis, which wasn't unique to Atlantis, it existed and it still exists today. But we must really understand primordial creation. The light, the consciousness, the primordial God force fire that put forth positive, negative, darkness, light, all of that. But you can do what you want. Hit the subscribe button though. But we must understand that this world is the world of the demiurge, the creator God, not consciousness, the first consciousness, the unknowable God. And this world that we live in is the world of the demiurge, the creator God. He is the one who decides who to call white, who to call black, who to call light, who to call darkness. Everything from an individual ego perspective is incomplete. I am evil and dark to somebody and vice versa. It's endless. The separation, the kaleidoscopic separation of awareness, of perspective. But consciousness created, and there was black and white, there was darkness, there was good, there was evil, negative polarity, positive polarity. The world, though, of the demiurge, of the creator God, which is not the unknowable God, Atum, this is also the battlefield where the war is fought, though, within creation, within third dimension. And to understand the beginnings of creation, primordial consciousness, I have, in furtherance thereof, in this video thumbnail, I will leave a image from Jacob Bem of the primordial fire, the sphere of the God force fire that the true Magi operates from, with an endless capacity for illumination. And when you understand how the true Magi seek to do away with all pretenses, all ego, and connect directly to Source, then we can get a little closer to understanding when we say the sons of light and the sons of darkness, and from there, to proceed from there. But this means that the wizard, the Magi, who enters into this sphere of knowledge, of knowing, who can commune with celestial beings of the highest order and achieve procedures of higher learning and spiritual manifestation, is touching the original God force fire. And this light of primordial creation, of the first consciousness, when the Magi enters into this sphere, will also surround the wizard in such a powerful way that the forces of evil will be thwarted and kept at bay as a result to the magical fire that appears within the sphere. And this sphere can be explained in a very esoteric way. Jacob Bem does it in his works. But when he said that any entity wishing to receive light had to pass through it, this God force fire, and forever exist inside this glorious fire of the God force, of the primordial consciousness, the first force of creation. Therefore, when this is perceived by the forces of evil, by the sons of darkness, by the sons of Belial, by organized religion, fundamentalist Christianity, condemning others, telling them they're going to hell because they're not following doctrine or they're spreading false doctrine, they're all the voices of Ha-Satan, adversarial voices, adversarial energy. But when the adversarial energy witnesses this glorious God force fire, the forces of evil will be kept at bay, because the light is the very same light which appeared in the second moment of creation, the light of God, the unknowable God, which all of creation sprang forth. And then you have pretender gods come along of material matter, the demiurge, but not the light of God, the original God. And consequently, it is the one pure and first light of the source, divine. And since this one pre-exists creation, everything and every entity will regard it as divine. Thus, the fallen forces of the Underdark, the sons of Belial, the sons of darkness, can do nothing but retract themselves away from the wizard, from the Magi, and all of his creations and manifestations. Therefore, the dark forces will be pushed back. The principality, due to principality of this effect, the primordial power of this effect, of the primordial light that shines invisibly through the medium of the sphere, the God force sphere. But we must understand the cosmology of creation, of how to differentiate between energy, the unknowable source energy, and the falsehood of the demiurge and created matter. Because I'm going to tell you, fear in a person, there's only two energies. There is love, which is creation, and then there's fear, which is the demiurge, which is the controlling apparatus, which is the sons of Belial, which is organized religion, which is the dark cabal, the deep state Illuminati cabal. But how you know which path, which way you're headed to is, do you exist without fear? Because fear in a man is a sign that he is still identifying with the created world and its laws. A sign that he still loves matter, his body and soul, and does not want to lose them. Your soul is not your spirit. It is just your fourth dimensional astral energies of who you are in this go around. And for that reason, his separation from everything, the Magi, the true Magi of the source, of source-connected awareness, the separation from matter, from created, this third-dimensional matter, This clown show of third dimensional matter must be gradual, your separation. And as you progress, as you rise in your consciousness with your spiritualization, your fear will diminish and ultimately will vanish. And at the same time, your hostility towards the impure and the ephemeral increases. This is proof that a man, that a magi, that a magus, that a wizard is becoming close to his spirit and thus the primordial light of the first creation. So we'll continue with part 2 with the mechanics of how the sons of Belial sank Atlantis, or were in part responsible. But you can look around you and see, except that world was done away with through water. Earthquakes had something to do with it, but ultimately water, ultimately everything. That will never happen again. That was God's promise through the rainbow. This creation will be reset, in a sense, or separated with fire, the cosmic fire. Stay tuned. Namaste. Namaskaram.